Alright, my friend, pull up a chair, because I've just been diving deep into a book that's completely transformed how I think about reading, and I genuinely believe it can do the same for you. The book is called How to Read a Book by Mortimer J. Adler and Charles Van Doren. And trust me, it's not some dusty old textbook. It's like having a wise patient mentor whispering in your ear, showing you how to unlock the true power of the written word. You know how sometimes you read a book, and even if you get through every page, you feel like it just slid off you? Like you absorbed some information maybe, but didn't really get it? That's exactly why I picked up this book. It makes a fundamental distinction. There's reading for information, and then there's reading for understanding. And the authors make it crystal clear that this book, our conversation right now, is all about that second, deeper kind of reading. They see reading for understanding as a form of aided discovery. Think about it, a writer isn't there to answer your questions directly, like a teacher in a classroom. The book is an absent teacher. And you, the reader, have to do the heavy lifting to truly learn and grow. The genius of How to Read a Book is that it lays out reading as an active art, not a passive reception. They use this great analogy: imagine playing baseball. The writer or speaker is the pitcher, throwing the ball, but you, the reader, are the catcher. If you're just standing there with your mitt open, you might catch the ball, but you won't catch everything the pitcher intended. You need to move, adjust, anticipate. That's what active reading is all about, putting in effort and skill. Now, the authors break down this art into 4 progressive levels. And this is where it gets really insightful. First, there's elementary reading, which is just basic literacy, recognizing words and sentences. Most of us who are reading a book like this have already mastered that by the time we leave junior high, so they assume we're good there. Then there's inspectional reading, which they also call systematic skimming or pre-reading. This isn't just randomly flipping pages, it's a deliberate, quick dive to get the most out of a book in a limited time. You look at the title, the preface, the table of contents, which, by the way, they spend a lot of time crafting for this book, so we should appreciate it. You check the index for key terms, read the publisher's blurb, and even flip through a few pages, especially the end. The goal here is to answer, what is the book about? And what kind of book is it? They emphasize that you should develop the ability to read at different, appropriate speeds. Not everything deserves a slow, deep read. Some things are for skimming, some for a quick pass, and only a few for true comprehension. It's about knowing when to speed up and when to slow down. The third level, and the one they spend the most time on, is analytical reading. This is where you really chew and digest a book. It's preeminently for understanding. And here's the secret sauce: it's all about asking 4 basic questions of any book you read. 1. What is the book about as a whole? This isn't just the subject, it's the main theme, the author's purpose. They tell you to pigeonhole the book, meaning classify it by kind. Is it fiction or non-fiction, practical or theoretical, history, science, or philosophy? Understanding the kind of book helps you understand how to read it. Then, you need to state the unity of the whole book in a sentence or 2, and outline its major parts. They call this X-raying a book to find its hidden skeleton. You're trying to figure out the author's overall plan. Finally, you define the problem or problems the author is trying to solve. 2. What is being said in detail, and how? This is the interpretive stage. It starts with coming to terms with the author. This is super important. Words are ambiguous, right? So, you need to figure out how the author is using keywords specifically, making them unambiguous terms in his context. It's like when you and a friend are talking, you need to make sure you're using the same words to mean the same thing, or you're just talking past each other. Once you're clear on the terms, you then identify the author's leading propositions, the main assertions or judgments he's making. And finally, you uncover the author's arguments, the logical sequences of propositions he uses to support his claims. This means you're not just accepting what they say, but understanding why they say it. 3. Is the book true in whole or part? This is the critical stage. You don't jump to judgment right away. First, you have to truly understand the author's mind, and only then do you talk back to the book. They lay out some intellectual etiquette rules. Don't be contentious, be open to agreeing, and if you do disagree, give reasons for it. Distinguishing knowledge from mere opinion, the ways you can criticize are the author is uninformed, misinformed, illogical, or his analysis is incomplete. This makes your criticism precise and helpful, rather than just an emotional reaction. For what of it? This is about the book's significance. Is the book gave you new information? What's its importance? If it enlightened you, what else does it imply? What are the consequences? For practical books, this question directly leads to action. If you agree with the practical book's goals and means, you're obligated to act. For theoretical books, it might mean adjusting your worldview. A super practical tip they give, which I now swear by, is making a book your own by writing in it, underlining vertical lines, stars, numbering points, writing questions in the margins. It keeps you awake, helps you think, and aids memory. It's how you take intellectual ownership of the book. They also touch on how to read different types of literature, which is fascinating. For practical books like how to read a book itself, the ultimate judgment isn't just about truth, but about whether the advice works and leads you to the right end. There's always an element of persuasion in practical writing, because authors want you to act on their advice. When it comes to imaginative literature like novels and plays, the rules shift. You're not looking for terms, propositions, and arguments. Instead, you're looking to experience the world the author creates, to be moved by it. The truth of a story isn't verifiable facts, but its verisimilitude, its internal plausibility. You don't agree or disagree with fiction, you either like it or you don't, and your criticism is about its beauty and how well it makes you experience what the author intended. Finally, the highest levels in topical reading. This is where you read multiple books on the same subject to construct your own analysis. Going beyond what any single author says, you become the master of the situation, establishing your own neutral terminology and framing your own questions that the various authors can be interpreted as answering. It's about defining issues, identifying different answers, and analyzing the discussion from an objective standpoint. This is how you gain a comprehensive understanding of a subject, even if the authors themselves didn't directly engage with each other. It's incredibly demanding, but also the most rewarding for deep learning. So what's the big takeaway from all this? The authors make a powerful case that reading well is about quality, not quantity. Being well-read doesn't mean having read 1,000 books superficially, it means having read a handful of challenging books deeply. Gaining true understanding, they introduced the idea of a pyramid of books. Most books are for amusement or information, requiring only skimming. A smaller number are good books that deserve analytical reading ones, but a very select few, perhaps fewer than 100, are great books, the ones you can revisit throughout your life, and each time, they will still be over your head, challenging you, lifting you to new levels of understanding, and making you wiser. This book isn't just about reading, it's about the growth of your mind. It's a call to action, really. If you accept that reading for understanding is worthwhile, and you accept these rules as the means, then you're obligated to try and read in this new, more active way. It's not easy, but the rewards are profound, not just improved reading skills, but a deeper understanding of the world and yourself. So grab a challenging book, a pencil, and start talking back to it. You might just find yourself on a lifelong journey of discovery.